What's going on, guys? I just got this new car, so I figured I'd make a video about it, and I've kind of always wanted to film and post a YouTube video, so I figured now would be a good time to do it. So for a little background, the car I traded in for this car was a 2018 Honda Accord Touring 2.0, and that was a great car to me. That was my first kind of real car that I've owned. So that car was great. I traded in, I think it had 27,000 miles. It got pretty decent gas mileage. It was fast for what it was. It was big, which I kind of like big cars. Handled great, even in the snow with the winter tires, it did good. And it was black with a white interior, kind of the opposite of this car. And I didn't have a ton of problems with that car. There was a rust problem on one of the doors that wouldn't go away, even though it was only 4 years old. And there was some rattles on the inside, which I kind of hate, but overall it was a great car to me and will last the next owner a very long time. So for this car, this is a 2020 M340i. It has 11,000 miles on it. It had one owner and it was virtually not driven, which is pretty awesome. I wanted a really low mile car. I had to go get it in Greenwich, Connecticut, which from me is like a 3.5 hour drive. I was looking around here, couldn't find anything, because I wanted it pretty optioned out. I didn't want to just get like the base, the first thing that popped up. So I was looking, there was one in Dravid Gray that I was going to go look at in Boston. And before I could even get there, someone bought it on the spot, and it had Dravid Gray exterior and then like the mocha leather interior. So it was a really good spec, but it got sold. And then there was another one up in New Hampshire that was, I think it's called Mineral Gray. And that didn't have all the options I wanted, but it was it was lower mile than this. I think it only had like 7,000 miles, but they wouldn't give me anything on my trade-in. So that deal kind of fell through and wasn't worth it to me. So after looking pretty much every night, I ended up finding this car, and it was all the way down in Greenwich. I found it pretty much the day they posted it. I called them up the next morning. They still had the car. We did all the haggling over the phone just because it was so far away, and we finalized some numbers, and I left work. I work from home, so I didn't have any meetings, and I was able to get out of the office, which is my home, and drive down there 3.5 hours in the Accord. And then I got there and got this, so figured I'd make a little walk around, talk about it a little bit. Made a few mods already. So at the front, I put on the black grille. I got this from IND. They are amazing. I would highly recommend them to anyone. I'm a big fan of Obsessed Garage, and I think IND's packaging is even better than Obsessed Garage. So I highly recommend them. So I put on that grille, and I put on these little side pieces on the bumper. I didn't hate the OEM, but I liked the clean look of black, and it was one of the first mods I wanted to do. Pretty easy to do. These ones on the bumper sucked, honestly, but it wasn't hard like by concept, but getting to some of the clips was difficult, but it was worth it. It looks really clean now, in my opinion. Let's see. So one of the options I wanted was the laser lights, which this car has, which is awesome. I really wanted those. And then, as you can probably see, I also went with the M-style mirrors. They're carbon fiber. These are a bit controversial. I didn't really want to do them because I know a lot of people don't like that. You know, it's not a true M. The new ones have these style mirrors, the new M340s. But I'm like, I like them. I don't really care what anybody else thinks, so I decided to go for it, and I'm really glad I did. I think it looks nice. It accents the black grille a lot better than the OEM mirrors, and I just like the look, so I ended up going for that. One of the things that the car paint is in pretty perfect condition, but the wheels are beat up, and I mentioned this to the dealer. They said they couldn't do anything about it. Tried haggling with them a couple times, but they weren't budging. So each wheel has a varying degree of curb rash. And it is a used car, so I'm not too mad about it, even though I'm pretty anal about that kind of thing. And eventually I'll get some new wheels and tires, but going into the winter, I'm just gonna keep these, and it's kind of nice not having to worry about them getting beat up because they're already not perfect, which kind of helps my brain. Another small mod I did was I got these valve stem caps with the M logo. I thought they were pretty cool. They're only 20 bucks. And I love the M blue brake calipers. I've never had painted calipers on a car. Didn't think any of my previous cars really kind of deserve that, so I think those are awesome. Down the side of the car, I haven't done anything other than the mirrors. I love that around the window comes black. It's pretty sweet. I don't like the chrome. Haven't done anything else, but I did another little mod in the gas cap. I just have to unlock the car. It was a new fuel cap cover. It's aluminum, it's blue, obviously. And honestly, this is my favorite mod. I don't know why I love this so much, but I just think it looks sweet. It pops and it looks nice at the gas station when you put it in the little hole and it kind of sticks out. I just think it looks really cool. So that was another thing I did. Back here, didn't really do anything, but this is one of my favorite views of the car. I eventually want to get an exhaust because I don't like how these tips look, and you can see like the exhaust pipe kind of behind those. So that's one of the main reasons I want exhaust, other than making it louder, is I think it looks amazing with the quad tips in the back. So I'll probably do that eventually. And then another one of my favorite views is kind of from this side angle. I just think it looks awesome. I love the taillights, and I love that sharp line towards the bottom of the doors. Let's see, so we can talk about the interior a little bit. I bought the BMW floor mats, and you'll have to forgive me, it's a little dirty in here, but I almost bought WeatherTech, and they were a little cheaper than these, but I kind of wanted the real BMW ones. I think they look nice, and I always go for the all-weather mats just because I like how the Carplay ones look, but in the winter and even in the summer, honestly, they're not that realistic and practical. So I always opt for the all-weather floor mats, and I got the ones in the back too. I might eventually get the ones for the trunk, but not sure about that yet. So some of the other options was the upgraded speakers. That was a must for me. I love listening to music, so I didn't want the kind of bass speakers. I definitely wanted the upgraded speakers. Another thing, as you can see, is it has the black leather with the blue stitching. I definitely didn't want Sensitech. I know some people say it's not different, but to me, I want the real thing. If I'm getting this kind of car, I don't really want to cheap out on the options, especially the seats. So very happy I got the real leather. And then stepping inside, a couple other options the car has is the adaptive suspension, which a lot of the ones I was looking at didn't have, so that was another huge perk. And then this also has the 360 camera, so it has cameras on the mirrors and then the front and the rear. And that's pretty nice for backing up and parking and everything. I think that's called the executive package. A lot of these features I wanted, and many of the cars that I wanted or was looking at didn't even have that, so that was great. The ambient lighting, of course, is incredible. And then, as you can see, the low miles is another thing that I really wanted. Because my car had 27,000 miles before this, and I know that's not a lot, relatively speaking, but for this kind of car, I definitely wanted it to have low miles, and I ended up finding this one. I don't drive that much, so that's another perk. If it's already a low mile, it's pretty much always going to be a low mile car, and I think that's pretty cool and something I wanted. And then I just love the whole interior. It's really nice in here. The heads-up display is essential. I don't know if I'll ever buy another car without a heads-up display, unless it's like a dream car, then I obviously don't really care. My only complaint, honestly, of the entire car so far is there's a rattle coming from this right-hand side. I can't figure out what it is. I know it's not the seat belt. I've tested that out. but it's just, it rattles pretty much at any speed over any kind of bump. And I just can't figure it out, so I might have to bring it into the dealer to see what they say. And then another thing I love about the car is the exhaust. It's not very loud, but here, I can start the car up. Like, for a stock exhaust, it sounds pretty awesome, and I've never had a car that sounds even remotely like this. And then you throw it in Sport Plus, you get the little burbles, you can hear the turbo. It just sounds pretty sweet. So overall, I love the speed of the car, I love the sound of the car. It's built like a tank. It's just pretty incredible in general. I really can't complain, and I'm very thankful that I'm able to get and drive and own a car like this. I always dreamed of having a really cool car, and to me this is a really cool car, and just the fact that I'm able to do it, I'm eternally grateful for that, and I'll never take it for granted. And another small thing I like is that the cup holders get covered, because a lot of cars, you have the cup holders here. I just think it doesn't look very clean, so closing that up behind there just looks awesome. And then another thing is the wireless Apple Carplay. I'm filming with my phone, so it's not connecting, but it connects automatically as soon as you get in the car, which is another awesome thing, because my old car, it was wired CarPlay, which was pretty frustrating. So I can shut the car, and I'll pop the hood just to take a look quickly and talk about one more thing. The windows, I don't know if I mentioned it in the other clip. I honestly like how they look clear. I had my old car had the tinted windows, and I loved it. I love how it looks on pretty much any car. I like the privacy, but for some reason I kind of like how this looks with the clear windows, so I might not do it on this car. Under the hood, I'm pretty much not going to do anything. I have a dine-in intake coming, but that's going to take a long time to get here. It's back ordered. Other than that, under the hood, I'm probably not doing anything. Not going to tune it, not going to avoid any warranties or anything. But overall, the car is just, I think it's an insanely good looking car. I just love everything about it, other than that one rattle. That one rattle is killing me, but just driving it, experiencing it, smelling the leather, getting in, I am honestly in love. I never thought I would get a white car with a black interior. Two things I said I always didn't like, and here I am, and I honestly couldn't be happier with the combination. I think it's incredible. So I'm probably gonna end up making some POV driving videos. I think I mentioned that already, but we'll see how that goes, and I'll post this and hopefully keep making videos about the car, because I love it. So thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions or comments, throw them down in the comments section, and I hope you have a good day, a good weekend, or week, whenever you're watching this, and I'll catch you later.